This is absolutely shocking when you really look at it in terms of how much individuals have not only been brought up in a sheltered way, which completely works against them, but so many of the people out there right now, adults, right? Because I'm talking 18 plus, they shelter themselves. Many people grew up sheltered, you have no control over it. But when you shelter yourself 18 plus, all you're doing is blocking your ability to grow, to make money, to expand, to be bold, to go after the things that you want. And it literally leads to the lack of development of human beings and any kind of zest in life and really accomplishing what one would want to accomplish, okay? So let's start at the very bottom. In order for us to step into something new, a new career, right? Develop our character or whatever it is, we have to not be sheltered, meaning we have to be able to take leaps of faith, do something that we've never done, try something that we've never tried, and do new things. Like if you come to me and you're like, hey, Bryan, I want to, become a master communicator. Well, I'm going to require a lot out of you. From a discipline standpoint, right? I'm gonna challenge your beliefs and philosophies and force you to change those things and your identity. We're gonna have to deal with emotional trauma. We're gonna have to deal with you getting out there and developing the skill set and now talking to people and then what to do, how to do it, right? What to say, how to say it, and all those things. But you're gonna have to willingly step into that. You see, and that's the problem. Is only a small percentage of people will come to me or, fill in the blank with whatever teacher it is and actually step up and do those things. But for many of those people, it's because they shelter themselves. They continuously point and think of things outside of themselves that's preventing this change. It's merely themselves sheltering themselves. And when I say sheltering is you resist change and you refuse to do what you need to do and you come up with all these surface level excuses. And what are the classic ones? I don't feel like it. I'm not motivated. I don't have the money, right? Blah, blah, blah. I don't have the time. I don't have the resources. All the bullshit that people say, fill in the blank. And very rarely are any of those excuses legit. Very rarely, right? That's the exception to the rule, right? So that doesn't change the rule. The majority of the time, the vast majority of the time, those things are bullshit. We know that. Right? We tell ourselves a story, and so many people have gotten so used to lying to themselves, they don't even realize that they're lying anymore. Like, it's insane. They start living in an actual, literal world of delusion because they've lied to themselves so much, they're so disconnected between the difference of them lying versus reality. It's insane. I'm sure you guys know people like that. And no matter what, right? Think of today, right? A good example of that would be like today. Modern day debates aren't debates anymore. When one side gets proven wrong, all they do is bitch and moan and complain, go back to their echo chambers on social media, and they never concede their position and say, you know what, you're right, I was wrong, I'll concede and I'll adopt your position, which is the right way it's supposed to be done. One side is right, one side is wrong. You don't have that nowadays. And it feeds into this mechanism. People want to shelter themselves, right? They refuse to accept reality and facts. It's fucking insane, dude. This is why we're suffering so much. People on psych meds, right? People are miserable, people are broke, people aren't making money. Part of it is the economy and all that, absolutely. However, the vast majority is here for most people, yet they won't step up and do what they need to do. This is why I'm so excited, like when I do the Zoom calls with you guys each week that sign up for my coaching and stuff, because we can have a one-on-one conversation about what it's gonna take. I can see you start to dig and pinpoint what's wrong, and then you get excited about joining and making the change, right? Then you join the community and boom, everything is just off to the races. It's amazing to see. And I've been doing that now for so many years. It's incredible to witness a transformation of people. But that's just an example of a small percentage of people who commit to this process and say, you know what, I'm going to do it. Most people will shelter themselves by only watching YouTube videos or only listening to podcasts and doing the bare minimum to get better. Because again, remember, you will have to change, your actions everything will have to change in order for you to step into something new. At the character level, identity level, internal, external, career, whatever it is. Stuff about you has to change. You can't think about it and then go about it in the normal way that you do. That's going to have to change. How you think, how you speak, how you act, all of that, right? And the reason I bring up the word sheltered is because it's almost like hidden. When you're a child and you're sheltered by your parents or your family, you have no idea what's going on until then you're confronted with the real world and you realize, oh man, like I don't move the same as everybody else. Something's missing, right? And it becomes apparent later. But this other one, right, is more dangerous when somebody shelters themselves because they're not even aware of these things. One was done externally. This one is done by your own choice. We just don't realize it. It's hidden. It's nuts. So that's why you really require, because how do we break out of it now, right? You require objective viewpoints and opinions and help to help you see these things. A lot of times you have to appoint somebody in your life that says, hey, or you go to them as an example and say, look, I need help in XYZ. I need help with my communication. And then let's say I hung out with you for a couple hours. We went out, we dealt with people, we talked with people, and I observe. Then you would grant me and say, look, I want you to help me, right? You pay me or whatever, you hire me. I'm like, all right, cool. Now I can point out what you're doing wrong that maybe you had no idea. Like, how many of you know people who crowd you in social settings? Like, they get all up in your personal space, but they don't realize that they're violating your personal space. That's a problem. And until somebody tells them, yo, dude, did you ever notice that whenever you're talking to people, you get a little bit too close, you're making people uncomfortable? Until somebody tells them that, they'll have no idea, and they won't make the change. Now, most people out there don't give a shit. They don't have a vested interest in helping you, because that's the key here. Who has, I want you to answer right now in the comment section, who has a vested interest in seeing you improve? When you pay for somebody, you get a coach or you get help, they have a vested interest in helping you. You exchanged money, time, whatever the agreement was, to help you in that thing. They have a vested interest in seeing you grow. They're going to go above and beyond. And many of you, no one has a vested interest in seeing you grow. And that's the problem, because there's only so far you're going to go on your own as a person. That's why, like, even today, I did a post on Instagram, and I'm about to post it here on YouTube on the community tab. I'm eternally grateful for all the people that helped me along my way, all the books that I've read, the teachers that I've paid, the events that I've gone to, and I extend that gratitude all the time. I could not have been where I'm at by myself. But I make sure that I don't shelter myself into my own little corner, because that's what's happening nowadays. And it's easier now because so many people get their social fix from Zoom or Discord, right? Or they watch videos and they don't really interact with people or do anything. And it's very easy to just stay at home and get food delivered and do all that, and you're not out there growing and getting better. You need to interact with the world and be out in nature in the world and with people, not sit there by yourself. And so many people are so secluded now, it's become a normal thing. They don't even realize it anymore. It's nuts. That's why I love getting out there, even if it's a couple times a week, and just talking with people and shooting the shit and having a good time and putting a smile on people's faces and giving them that energy. That's what I like to do. But even then, I pour so much on a daily basis now into my students and to my team and everyone who's a part of all my organizations, that now I'm constantly doing it. And I've learned to really, really enjoy that. And it's fun. But I also have people who are participating, wanting to get better. And same thing with me, I want to get better. And me helping other people makes me better too, because it reinforces a lot of these principles that I've learned and understood and mastered over the years. But this is a process that involves other people. And many of you are sheltering yourselves, not just from a learning standpoint, but from a social standpoint. And you don't realize how much that constrains you. It's nuts. Take the step. If you've never bought a course, buy one. I don't give a shit if it's mine. If you've never gone to an event, go to one. If you've never done coaching, do it. Take those steps that you guys need to take, because it will open up a world. And believe me, and I want to make this comment too. Along the way, you will be disappointed. There's been books that I bought that were shit, coaching that I've done that sucked, events that I went to that weren't that good. But why would you allow that, or the possibility of that, to stop you from the other ones that could potentially be good? Because right now, if you've never done it, all it is potential. That's all it is. So you don't know. And until you've gone to 5, 10, 15 events and done all this other stuff, you can't really come to a concrete conclusion on what you like or what worked and what didn't. But we know we're going to learn from other people and grow by doing these things, yet we don't do them. It's nuts. I even have to get on my coaching students sometimes to do more, because they'll be very well involved in my world, which is great, but I still tell them, go to somebody else too. Right? Now that you've done some stuff with me for 6 months or a year, experiment somewhere else. Go to another teacher too. Find somebody in that one thing or this new thing to help you that maybe I don't specialize in it. Don't just be stuck with me because you like what I have, right? That's good, but then you'll get caught up in that bubble and you'll start sheltering yourself again for more growth, and you don't want that. This is a constant process, y'all, that you have to be doing. This is why, when you look, I have a full, kind of rack here of books and library. I have that. I have another one over there. I have another white one that's full of books, and I'm always reading and doing all this stuff too, because I want to keep pushing that ante and learning and growing. To me, that's fun. I've learned to enjoy it. So make sure you guys are doing the same for yourselves, okay? Cool. I'll keep it short and sweet today. Appreciate you guys watching. Huge gratitude to everybody who's still followed and goes out of their way when they don't get notifications and all that for the channel. Leave a thumbs up, leave a comment as well. Share this video, right? If this is the type of content that you like, let me know. I appreciate everybody. If you need anything, the links are in the description. I do coaching courses, one-on-one Zoom consultations if that's what you want. All this stuff is there on my website. All right, me and Osiris will bid you farewell. Peace.